Wrestling Podcast proudly brings to you today's topic, the history of the Royal Rumble.
The epitome of opportunity. Outlast the competition to secure a championship match on the grandest stage of them all. WrestleMania. The road to WrestleMania begins here at the Royal Rumble.
Welcome to the O.W.P. This is our wrestling podcast. This is Dave along with Jess.
Hi, everybody.
And Cuz.
What's up?
Bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. And now on to our topic today, the history of the Royal Rumble. As always, you can reach us via Instagram at O.W.P. 2019, SoundCloud at Our Wrestling Podcast, YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel, or just do the easy thing. Download WrestlePost. It's an app at no charge to you, and join us along with other great podcasts of the day. Why are we talking about the Royal Rumble, gentlemen?
First things first, if I accidentally slip into, hey guys, how you doing? It's because I'm making fun of Cuz. You do not hear it. You're going to hear Cuz clear. But the way he's set up right now is he sounds like he's in like the smallest tunnel possible, for a human being. And he's like, help me. And so my automatic senses want to make fun of him. But then I know if I make fun of him, nobody at home is going to get it because he's going to sound normal, if that makes any sense. But to us right now, he sounds like he's deep down in it, like some anus, and he's yelling help me, and I can't. So if I do slip into that voice, I apologize. We're not going to edit it out. Why is Jess talking like he's plugging his nose? It's because he's trying to make fun of Cuz, which you won't hear, and I want to lay that out on the table now. So if I sound ridiculous, then it's because of that, even more than usual.
And if you want, you can always make fun of me because I actually did get like a 6-pack of White Claw. It's not bad. No, I understand the rave a little bit, and I'm drinking it right now.
What's happening? Cuz seems like a million miles away, and Dave is drinking White Claw. I'm all alone here on this island, everybody.
It's like, remember back in the day when you were kids and you used 2 empty food cans to make walkie-talkies? It's empty Hogan beer can penis.
That's what you sound like.
Yep.
You know what I thought I was going to say? You remember back in the day when you used to drink Zima and you thought it was cool? That's White Claw right now.
That too, or Boone's?
Boone's Strawberry Hill.
Right,
the best.
Right. Okay. Goddamn Royal Rumble.
So moving on, the Royal Rumble. Why are we talking about the Royal Rumble?
What the fuck even happened?
Because it's January and it's Royal Rumble month, and Royal Rumble month also signifies the march to WrestleMania. I'm excited. Royal Rumble is, besides WrestleMania, is my favorite pay-per-view.
It's great. It's fantastic. Yeah. Some of the best stuff ever, right? So I believe we got a little bit of theme music coming in last time I checked.
Huh?
What?
See, Cuz distracted me. I blame Cuz for all this because I did have it. You are correct on that, but Cuz is sounding like he's far away, and I'm emotional. I don't know if he's like ever gonna come back, kind of thing. This is Vince McMahon.
The Bushwhacker, the Anvil, Demolition Clutch, Dino Bravo, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Hercules, Shane Douglas.
Shane Douglas. Okay, if every Star Wars movie they could have James Earl Jones still sound the same, and be Vader. Why every year they can't have Vince McMahon do the fucking intro to the Royal Rumble? I will never know. I don't have an answer for that.
That'd be great.
What's interesting is Jess and I were talking offline about that. I said, look, if he can't get as excited about announcing teams of the Royal Rumble today as he did like in the 1990 Rumble, Bushwhacker, Luke, and you're like, now he's like, Seth Rollins. Well, he might go, Seth Rollins, and then
because I said Jesus Christ, like how many Hall of Fame names is he going to name in a row? He was just like Hall of Fame name, Hall of Fame name, Hall of Fame name,
and then Saba Sima, and then Hall of Fame name. What?
Yeah, and then Saba Cinda was thrown in there. But yeah, now it would just be kind of like Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Braun Strowman, Shorty Gable. Like he would just be totally uninterested. And then someone he likes, Seth Rollins, and like Mysterio, other people that he shits on.
Mustafa Ali,
Rob Van Dam, Mustafa Ali, Drew McIntyre. Roman Reigns! Shinsuke something. I can't pronounce. I've never been able to pronounce his name. That's why I don't push him.
But he's good though. He's good. I swear. I promise.
Yeah, that Triple H tells me he's good on the indies.
Yeah. It's quite amazing where the Royal Rumble has come. I mean, everybody knows what it is now. Al, if you win the Royal Rumble, you have cashed in your ticket to WrestleMania, but it wasn't always like that. The first one wasn't even booked on a pay-per-view, Jess. Where did we see the first one in 1988?
It was on USA, the USA Network. And I do believe, just off the top of my head, it was to counter WCW/NWA Bunkhouse Stampede pay-per-view. I want to say they put it on at the same time that was going on.
For free.
Well, yeah, for free on the USA Network. And they also tempted you with the signing of the rematch of Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant on that show as well for February 5. But they had the contract signing here on the Royal Rumble. So they had this new concept of a match called the Royal Rumble, which only had 20 participants, by the way. And then they also had the signing of the rematch for the world title, Hulk and Andre.
I bet you they go at it right now. Because Hulk would not sit there and go through all of this humiliation. To have Andre, wait a minute, is he signing? He's signing it now.
Finally, Andre the Giant is signing the contract for the big one, February the 5th, Friday night.
Now that you signed the contract, Andre, put your official stamp of approval on it.
So pretty much, yeah, it was like they countered what NWA did back at WrestleMania 4 when they put the Clash of the Champions on against WrestleMania. It was the Sting versus Flair, the famous 60-minute draw on Clash of the Champions. And that did really well in the ratings. And so Vince decided, you know what? Like, and he just fought it.
So basically what you're saying,
no, that was
Jess,
before. I apologize. Vince did this first. That's right. Vince did that first, and then Clash of the Champions countered. My fault on that.
I was going to say, but I mean, ultimately, two of the four largest pay-per-views in WWE history are basically done just to piss off Crockett. Is that about right? I mean, when you really think about
that's a fair assumption.
No, that's just kind of who won that Rumble, by the way.
He shot who won what? The first one on USA, Hacksaw Jim Duggan won it.
Oh, that's great.
And like I said, there was only 20 members, there was only 20 participants, and it was I know you're going to get to this, Dave, but I'm going to steal your thunder. It was a Pat Patterson creation. And Pat Patterson created the Royal Rumble and created the infrastructure and how they're going to book it backstage. And to this day, call me ignorant, I don't even know how they really book it. I mean, I'm sure it's pretty simple, but I mean, like, just, having all those guys come in there and people getting eliminated at the right times. They have like their elimination cues they have to hit. And, so it's kind of like pretty intricate, and Pat Patterson came up with it. And Vince, I think, shit on it at first, if I remember the rumor correctly. And then he finally warmed up to it and put it on. And they tested it here in 1988 on USA just to fuck with NWA and counter their programming. And the Royal Rumble was born. Yeah. I
think people don't really understand. Like, it's fantastic the way it's set up, because a classic battle royal is just a real shit show, right? You don't really know what's going to happen.
It's everybody in there at once. Like, I've never liked battle royals because you start with 20 people or however many people in there at once, and then they just it's so crowded for the first 5 minutes. Like, you just see people like, I know it's all fake punching and fake kicking, but like, it's even more fake punching and kicking when there's like 20 people in there, because they're all just kind of trying to just, let's get in the corner. We'll just
so AEW fake punching and kicking.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, really taking shots here.
It's true.
Because loves AEW.
I can't help what I saw on Twitter. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to bash AEW, but I mean, if you're going to fucking throw a punch late in there, but that's just a sidebar. Anyway. But yeah, so the greatest thing about the Royal Rumble idea is that you can have two people start and you can crowd it a little bit, and then you can clear it, then you can crowd it, because there's anywhere from like a 2 to 3 minute interval or whatever interval they would like to proceed, because it's not always exact.
Yeah.
It's just how they want it to go in, and that's what was so great about it. You would have this ongoing match, and the match would evolve and change with different people in and out throughout the entire, what I guess you'd say, hour, right? It's about an hour or more.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you explained it well, but for people who've never, I don't know why you'd be listening to us if you've never heard, watched the Royal Rumble. But basically, yeah, 2 participants start out, and then every 2 minutes thereafter, another participant enters the Royal Rumble. But before the Royal Rumble, they claim that they draw numbers from a hat or a big, bingo thing or whatever. So that's the gist.
The bingo cart was the best.
Yeah, and if you get thrown over the top rope and both feet touch the floor, you are eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when
pretty
they did
simple concept,
they do
except
60
for the fact
seconds?
that Pat Patterson realized that that's how battle royals work, but they're always so messy. So how do you take the mess out of it? And it's just another one of those great creations of Pat Patterson and his genius. And hopefully he'll continue to be able to give us some more golden gooses before he takes off on us. So, anywho. And it was only a year later before the first pay-per-view was actually aired for the Royal Rumble in 1989, and it became the 4th pay-per-view as part of the quote-unquote Big Four of WWE pay-per-views. We obviously have the Rumble, we have Survivor Series, we have WrestleMania, and we have SummerSlam, right, for those Big Four. And it's always a fantastic, setting to go to any one of those. I've been to SummerSlam, and in my opinion, it did feel like a different nostalgia. I can't wait to go to WrestleMania. All this wrestling that I've watched have never been live to WrestleMania, and I think that will happen pretty quick. I think it's going to be fantastic. It is different, when you go to one of these Big Four events. So if you get a chance, you really should go. Anything you want to say about the 89 Royal Rumble? But it was just the first pay-per-view. It wasn't anything, serious. I mean,
I think it was just to introduce it as like one of the Big Four. Notables from that. Big John Studd won, which was kind of weird at the time, like for them to do it. But we think of the Royal Rumble now, the winner gets a shot at the WWF Championship or a champion of his choice, which we will get to later. But so there was really no reason for them to make Big John Studd the winner. But it also didn't matter, if that makes sense, because it's not like back here, the winner did not get a shot at WrestleMania and the world champion. It didn't matter.
And I think they were just paying homage to Studd at that time.
Yeah, they were just trying to figure it out and everything. So people were like, something. Big John Studd won? How could Big John Studd win? Well, calm down. He didn't get a shot at any championship or anything, because that's not what it was about at the time.
He came in and tried to do his job. There goes the 31st man. Here is the winner of the Royal Rumble, Big John Studd, the winner of the Royal Rumble.
No, it wasn't. That's what makes it so different, right? We actually didn't get any kind of WWF championship nostalgia towards it until 92, where the winner of the Royal Rumble actually would win the championship outright. And I think that's where it developed so much hype. That's where everything changes. So Jess or Cuz, if you want to, get your tinny ass in here, tell us what happened in 92. Who was coming? What was happening? I don't care.
Hulk Hogan won 19.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Early on, Hulk Hogan became a 2-time winner and a back-to-back winner. Hulk Hogan wins 1990, and he wins the 1991 Royal Rumble. But anyway, Dave, go on. I don't want to brag.
When it meant nothing. That's great. Cool.
Doesn't matter, brother. Fair enough. Good stuff. What a sack of shit. Go on. Go ahead.
Brother, 92 has one of the best posters for the pay-per-view ever.
You're so hooked on posters,
I love it.
Someday you're going to post those on YouTube. But it was. I know.
He masturbates to him.
Flair.
So in 92, there was an issue. There was an issue with Hulk and The Undertaker, and they had a series of championship matches stemming from Survivor Series 91, which we covered in our Survivor Series episode. And they had a rematch on Tuesday night in Texas. And due to that controversy, they put the heavyweight title up for grabs, and the winner of the 1992 Royal Rumble would win the heavyweight championship. And of all people, this outsider that came in from NWA/WCW wins the 1992 Royal Rumble and becomes the WWF Heavyweight Champion, and that's Ric Flair.
told you myself.
Royal Rumble.
I told you. Yes.
And like really to this day, a lot of people say the 1992 Royal Rumble is still the best Royal Rumble, the actual Royal Rumble match ever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
What do you gotta say? Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I rendered
Cuz,
that
ladies and
out
gentlemen, cuz.
He's like, yep, that's right.
Yeah.
I rendered it on.
Just like
You got, hey, Monty, you got anything you got to add? Nope. I'm at a few words, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's because fantastic.
rendered it on.
So yeah,
VHS.
Ric Flair wins 1992. It was the first time that I want to say it's been the only time, right? I don't want to sound really dumb because I don't remember like recent history. I'm like, because wrestling products kind of shit nowadays. But I'm pretty sure the 1992 Royal Rumble has been the only Rumble that's ever been for the WWF Championship.
No.
Yeah, not that I can
WrestleMania.
recall.
Or remember with Roman and Triple H and all that, and Ambrose and Triple H were the final two. Oh God, 2014, 15.
And Triple H won,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Ah, Triple H won.
Yeah.
You're right. See, you're right. That's why Cuz is here.
I feel like there's one in between that too, isn't there? Maybe not.
I don't think so. I think there's only been two. I think you're right. It was in the back of my head, and I was like, God, I want to say there was one other one, but I knew I had to say 1992 was the only one for someone
that's
to be like, no, it
The more
wasn't.
important one. That's why.
Yeah. So okay. So only 2 Royal Rumbles ever have been for the championship. This was the first in
Ric Flair's
1992.
fucking long ass performance.
And Ric Flair
Iron Man.
wins the championship.
He was the Iron Man of the Rumble.
I
Yeah.
think he went something like 52 minutes or something like
An
that.
hour.
That was the record at the time.
It was 59 minutes.
Was it 59?
yeah.
Oh, Ray beat him
59
out,
minutes.
right? Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio, but he was beaten the next. Well, we'll talk about it. But he was beaten the next year. Bob Backlund beat his record in '93
Oh.
by 1 minute.
Backlund's going to fuck everything up. You know, thank you, Vince, for fucking Bob fucking Backlund. God
Fucking
damn it.
great.
Every time. All right. Yeah, 92 was for that WWF Championship, and I believe that that's where things caught fire for the Rumble. And they realized, hey, well, maybe we should make this whoever wins the Rumble could get a shot at WrestleMania or a title shot. It ultimately became a title shot at WrestleMania. And that's when 1993 comes in. And who wins that Royal Rumble of 93?
Is Yokozuna. So Yokozuna was the first guy to win the Rumble when the winner received a shot at WrestleMania at the world champion.
Which I think is so phenomenal. Like, who's going to throw that big bastard out? Seriously. It was not even possible.
Oh, there we go. He threw him out from the floor. Let's go and get the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Royal Rumble.
No, that was really good. That was really good booking, and that was really good placement. And Yokozuna would go on to win the championship from Bret Hart at WrestleMania 9. I'm not going to talk about what happened afterwards, but
For 2
Yokozuna
minutes.
he did win the championship. And so, yeah, it kind of set the precedent where now it's important. So the Royal Rumble was a pretty cool concept. And now they're putting some importance on it, saying, well, you know what? Like, let's start a march to WrestleMania from January to March or April, depending on when Mania fell that year. Let's make this block of 2 or 3 months like a march to WrestleMania. Let's start it with the Royal Rumble. Winner gets a shot at the champion. And they could change hands. They could change champions between time too to make even more drama. So it started a great tradition. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it makes for easy, great booking, great storytelling, and a short amount of time. Something you can put over, say, 90 days or so between the Rumble and WrestleMania, especially if you need something new and fresh. It is the start of the new year, and the Rumble really kicks off everything new, and that's what's so fun about it, right? So 93 is where that winner gets a shot for the first time. We know Yoko did that, and then we go into 1994, and there's actually 2 situations where this kind of is, where we had actual ties in the Rumble. How cool is that? And by the way, this 1994 tie, I don't know how they couldn't have done it any better. I mean, do you agree, disagree?
No, I agree. Like the Lex Express was, supposed to be the answer to the next Hulk Hogan in 1993. And for
Boy, were they
various
wrong.
reasons, and I don't want to shit on Luger because I kind of don't feel that it was Luger's fault. It's a podcast for another day. But at the same time, like, so Luger was kind of losing steam. The actual wrestling fan that was left watching WWF, they were actually cheering Bret Hart, and they were really pushing for Bret. You know, he was kind of fucked over at WrestleMania 93. And so they kind of wanted Bret to be champion again. The fans actually started coming around being like, well, we kind of want Bret. Like, you know, so Luger wasn't, he started losing steam between the summer of 93 and January of 94, the Royal Rumble. So, but Vince still wanted to kind of try Luger. Vince liked big guys. He wanted his next Hulk Hogan. He just did. That's the way Vince has always been. So basically they booked in 1994 where Lex and Bret were the last two in the ring. They were both faces and they both fell over the top rope and their feet hit at exactly the same time. And it was a really cool spot and they did it very well and they played a bunch of replays. So they ultimately said the 1994 winners are Bret and Luger. So to this day in the history books, the winners of the 1994 Royal Rumble were Bret Hart, Lex Luger.
Discussion going on. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 1994 WWE Royal Rumble. The winners are Lex Luger and Bret Hitman.
And they would go into WrestleMania and, you know, Bret would win the title. And so, yeah, that was really significant. So early on, there's a lot of action on the Royal Rumble. A lot of things that happen at the Royal Rumble impact Mania, you know?
No, absolutely. And that's where because of that tie, we had one of our underrated matches at WrestleMania, and that's where Owen and Bret come in to have one of the greatest matches I've ever seen to kick off a WrestleMania. And then you actually, people don't know this, actually Yoko did win the title back from Hogan before they go on their summer tour. And Bret actually beats Hulk Hogan in the second match, you know, to basically regain.
Yoko beats Hulk.
Well, Yoko beats Hogan, but then at WrestleMania, when Bret gets that second match, he beats Yoko at the next WrestleMania. Yeah.
Yeah. And the second tie, I put 2005 here. 2005 actually did not end up a tie, but it's just noteworthy because of what happened. So they did this almost identical spot that Luger and Bret did, and it was Cena and Batista. And this was the year that Cena and Batista were supposed to take off as well. And so this is Royal Rumble 2005. And both spill over the top rope. They both hit at the same time. They both get back in the ring. They're like, what do you mean we tied? I beat him. No, I beat him. They did the whole thing. So Vince is supposed to run down and settle it. Vince McMahon and his ridiculous bushwhacker walk when he walks down the ring is so big and fucking flailing his arms and legs.
Stick up the ass walk, yeah.
And his cock, and he's just fucking flailing her down. And he slides under the bottom rope in the apron. You know, wrestlers just seamlessly like slide in
Vince
like on the bottom.
Do that.
Vince did that, and because his cock was in the way, he hits both. He hits the top of both of his knees when he slides in on the apron and blows both of his quads right there. So he tries to stand up and he falls down and he ends up sitting on his ass, like leaning up against having a rope.
Yell at them, yeah.
Yeah, still in character. And I got to give Vince credit for this shit because he blew both his quads and still is like, I got to fucking be a character. Like, and so he sits there and he blows his quads and he's sitting on his ass. And if you go back and watch this match, it's the most funny, ridiculous thing that I respect of Vince. Like, it's the most dumbest thing. He blows his quads, he can't stand up, he falls down on his ass, and he still is like, there's gotta be a winner. Come on, ref. And he's still in character and doing whatever. Then they eventually restart the match and Batista wins. So there was actually a winner of the 2005 Royal Rumble, and it was Batista, but they actually teased the tie, which is kind of an homage to 94. So I noted that because I thought that was pretty funny, especially Vince blowing both his fucking quads.
Because the chairman of the WWE, Mr. McMahon, does not look happy, and that's not a shocker.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I'll never forget that.
It was awesome.
Just him holding on to the top rope while he's sitting on his ass and yelling at the referee.
Like in character. My quads are blown. That has to be a winner. My quads. Has to be quads. Has to be.
Yeah.
Fucking ow.
And we'll rewind a little bit because this is where we starting to see a little bit of, I don't want to see the women's revolution, but maybe a little bit of a movement. We've talked about China in our archives, and it's quite phenomenal what China has done. China has won men's titles well before any other woman even had a chance to. And she was actually the first woman entrant in 1999. Cause, what say you? That was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, they've tried to do it again, right, with Beth Phoenix, but it's never going to be more iconic than when China was in the Royal Rumble. It was badass. She had her little spot, but
I don't know how many more people could actually, pull that off. I mean, Phoenix is close, but I mean, China was way more believable at the time. Yeah. And now we did have something more believable with, with Nia Jax.
Yeah.
When Nia Jax walked in, I was like, this is going to be good. And I honestly, I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I was like, Nia Jax is going to, I thought it was legit. She rolled a few heads in there and did a good job, but you wouldn't have Nia Jax in that match at all. I wouldn't even be considered if not for China. They were
trying to push the woman talent that year. People who don't like the Nia Jax thing, go fuck yourself. God damn it. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
It was actually done well. Out of all the things that WWE has been doing shitty for the past 5 to 10 years, you picked that.
That was not bad at all.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah. You're picking on that. Like, get out of here.
The wedding.
Shut the fuck up.
Look at the wedding.
Well, what's funny is a lot of people want to, not to get too far off on a tangent with Nia Jax, but people want to give Nia so much shit for hurting Becky Lynch. Two things to that,
it happens.
when she broke Becky's nose. Well, it does happen, right? There's two things to that. She set Becky's full on gear in motion. Becky was already lit, and then she just it was like adding fuel to the fire. Not to mention the fact that I would much rather have that happen. Thank goodness no one got really hurt. Better than that fucking shit I saw on Twitter today. Some motherfucker fake punching in the ring, and like, what's worse? I hate to sound like a dick, but
real quick to not go off on a tangent, but like, honestly, I'd rather people really lay it in sometimes, because they're in their character and they're trying to really push the storyline.
Exactly.
I mean, like the kind of
than not. And you know what? No, like I hate that fucking phrase. Like, oh yeah, they're a botch fest, or they botch all the time, or they're super botchy. I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, you're not even in the sport. Fuck off. You're a fan. Super botchy. Do you get to say that? Do you get to anoint someone with that because you're in the industry? Oh no, you're not. You're sitting in your fucking mom's basement. No, like stop it. Vader fucking beat the shit out of people all the time, and I need Vader in history. I need Vader's run. WCW needed Vader's run. We need that because big guys after that developed and they figured out a way to use them. Oh my God, big heels can win fair. That's awesome, and they used it. Sid winning the title. All that stemmed because Vader was so dominant in 93. And there's been more than one time where Vader would peel someone back in the corner and punch the fuck out of them in the face, Sting, and break their nose or bloody their nose or whatever. And Sting not once batted an eye. Sting was like, nope, needs to happen. This guy's a monster.
If Vader and I don't lay it in, it's not real. Like why would
Ric Flair when you saw when Vader fought Flair in Starrcade 93, he bloodied Flair's lip like right away, punched him right in the face, and Flair had a bloody mouth the entire match. That added to the drama. I'm not saying I wanted Flair to get hurt, but it's a broken mouth. Like, yeah, I'm not saying a broken nose is anything to take lightly, but like, it's just a broken nose. I'm not saying that it couldn't have been worse or what, and she got a concussion from it. But at the same time, it's like Nia was just fucking doing her shit, and it happened and it landed. It has nothing to do with being unsafe, people. It has to do with the whole spot had a bunch of women in there doing like a fight sequence. So fucking Nia was just throwing fucking fists. Like, it happens. Vader did all the time. Bro. Like, Vader did all the time. Like, it's like, God, like, but people, oh, she's fucking unsafe. She's fucking terrible. No, you're just stupid. That's all. You're stupid.
Shit happens.
You're a stupid fan. So go fuck yourself. Like, let's watch let's watch a bunch of fucking fake fucking, like the guy who was punching Dustin Rhodes. Let's watch that all day.
It's the best in the world.
And it's a serious off tangent, but I guarantee you Dustin took him back and said, what the fuck is wrong with
mainstream fans, like casual fans, really love it when they can see fake wrestling. That's what gets them attracted. No, it's fucking the realism. They see someone that they can connect with and are like, I don't really like wrestling, but that shit looks real. That's what pulls people in. Not like, man, that guy's super safe in the ring. I don't watch wrestling that much, but that guy's super safe. I'm going to watch it all the time now. No, fucking shut up. Shut up. Jesus Christ. Shut the fuck up.
I think it's like an epiphany. Oh, it's super safe. Now I'm really going to watch it. There's absolutely no chance that someone's going to get hurt, so I will totally watch it now.
Yeah. Stupid. Fucking stupid.
And
I'm not saying I want to fucking fester, but then again, Sandman's allowed to fucking flop around for 8 years, fucking super unsafe. You know what I mean? Like doing all that. People are like, yeah, but he was cool. Why? Because he's a man.
He was,
and Nia Jackson's a woman. You don't like
cool.
that? Like,
fucking
No, he's just good.
You're making a good point.
Anyway, go ahead. Back to the fucking Royal Rumble. I'm sorry.
That's fantastic. That's a great.
So China was the first woman way back in '99. I know recently in the last 5 years, it's been the whole woman's revolution or evolution or whatever they want to fucking call it. But China in 1999 was the first woman to ever enter officially the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. And to your point, even Nia Jax wasn't an official entrant. She just fucking threw someone into the barricade. She took his place.
No, don't talk about her anymore, Dave. She's unsafe.
She is.
Botch fest.
I was just saying that she's the first
bitch.
woman. She's the first woman to ever officially be an entrant in the Rumble.
No, I'm
a
part of the industry. She's a botch factory. I'm part of the industry, Dave.
God damn it!
I know what it means to train and do all that.
Last time I checked, part of our signature is no ties to the industry.
I'm just a smart fan. I want to say industry terms. She's a botch, Dave. Botchy botch.
Welcome to the O.W.P.
It makes me smart.
That's right.
Makes me smart by saying that.
There you go. Well, we'll take a little fast forward. We're going to roll into 2011. This was probably a botch in itself. How about 2011 being the only one with 40 men? How long was that fucking match? Jesus.
That match actually is still going on today. And
I bet you that's why
Albert-
Pritchard's like, in those days, like, goddamn, fucking minute and a half tops. Get the next guy fucking in there. Let's go.
I think at 2011, I'm not really sure. Like, I think they just wanted to add luster to it. I don't know. Like, let's make it a mega Royal Rumble, 40 men and, all that. And then Alberto Del Rio did win it, which is kind of cool. I'm a kind of a fan of Del Rio. So
we
he
were
did
definitely
win
a
that.
fan then.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did win that. And that's kind of cool. Alberto Del Rio won.
There you go. And then talking about that women's revolution, 2018 was the first women's Rumble match. That's interesting. We can talk about who won it and what happened there, but I wonder if we're going to have it again.
What?
Are we going to have another one?
Yeah.
A women's Rumble?
They have it every year now.
We have him.
No, I get it, but it's only been 2 years, right? So it's like, is it going to be there? Is it going to be good? Are they going to go out the second rope this time?
No, David, the 2019 Royal Rumble is actually considered one of the best Royal Rumble matches ever. The women's one, the one that Becky won last year, was actually very, really very good. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I hate to keep harping on it, but everybody wants to give AEW so much shit about their women's division. I'm like, God, WWE has a lockdown on the women's talent across the entire world, and it shows. It shows in NXT. It shows on SmackDown and Raw. There's been months where the ladies' storyline was just totally trumping anything that the men can put out. And those Royal Rumble matches and those segments are part of that. Becky's obviously a big part of that. As much as
even recently
Flair's
now, not just Royal Rumble, like we just saw Shayna Baszler and
Rhea Ripley.
God, yes. And it was fantastic. It was
there's
fantastic.
no way they're not going to be in it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Imagine if Shayna gets a title
Shayna's
shot
going to be in it
for the Royal Rumble.
That was her exit.
I love Shayna. I love her.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah. She'll probably get that title shot. And I think I've heard that. Well, I've also heard that Ronda might be coming back soon, so maybe that's where she kind of surprised.
They have to do the 4 Horsewomen thing at WrestleMania now, right?
I hope not.
But Vince can't get away from it.
I
Marvel versus DC. Think about it.
I dislike Ronda Rousey so much, but I get her star power and her mainstream appeal. I don't even know if it's that valuable, but whatever. Anyway, we're talking about Royal Rumble. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, what else do you guys want to talk about? What are some of the high points?
And some of the high points here right now, Roman Reigns holds the most eliminations in a single Royal Rumble with 12.
He beat
Kane. Yeah, Kane had 11. Roman Reigns in 2014 eliminated 12 people.
I find it interesting because
on a side note, this doesn't count. But on the greatest Royal Rumble, the biggest Royal Rumble ever, Braun Strowman eliminated 13 people. So that only because the Royal Rumble name is in that, they throw it in here. But no, Roman Reigns holds the record at 12 in the actual Royal Rumble pay-per-view.
What I find interesting is that there's a Royal Rumble, and just you probably refresh my memory, where Hogan cleans house, and I could have sworn he eliminated that many people like in 5 minutes. Do you remember that Rumble I'm talking about and how many people he actually pushed out?
He eliminated 9 in 1989.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yes.
And I can't remember if that's where him and,
like Cuz said, in 2001, Kane set the record with 11 and held it all the way until Roman Reigns.
But when Hogan did 9, was that the face-off with the Warrior, or was that with?
No, that was the year before. That was the year before, and actually, Ultimate Warrior in 1990 eliminated 6, which was the most of that year.
At that time. And then Hogan said, I got to do 9.
I got to do 9, bro.
No, Hogan did 9 the year before. No, Hogan did 9 the year before. I'm just saying the Warrior in the Rumble itself in 1990 had the most eliminations of 6.
Oh, of 6. That was a year later. Yeah. Gotcha.
And then in 91, cool Hogan got 7. In 92, Sid got 6. So of each respective Royal Rumble, those were the most. 93, Yokozuna eliminated 7 people. So that year, he had the most.
They got to keep topping it. Someday someone's going to eliminate 20 people.
Steve Austin had 10 eliminations in 97.
Wow. And by the way, who's got the most Royal Rumble wins?
Austin. The greatest of all time.
Well, let me finish off the... God damn it. He just fucking... He just loves Austin, doesn't he? To finish off the eliminations, Kane still holds the most combined eliminations of 44.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, right behind him. Right behind him, of all people, is Shawn Michaels, tied with the Undertaker at 40.
Nice.
How does Shawn Michaels eliminate anyone? He's like 5.
I don't know, and I do not appreciate you trying to get me upset about Shawn Michaels at this point. What was the question you just asked?
He lost his smile, but he still eliminated 40 people in the process. I'm just saying.
What was the question you asked? The next one?
Oh, I was talking about who was the. Who were the ones that have won the most Rumbles?
What?
Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull it up right now for you.
1997, right?
Actually, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, Jesus. Stone Cold Steve Austin holds the record with... Oh, Jesus Christ.
With 3 wins?
With 3 wins total. Stone Cold Steve Austin holds the record. He's the only guy to ever have won 3 Royal Rumbles.
I beat Hogan. What?
I wonder if that'll ever be broken.
Oh, of course.
Has to be, right?
3. It's gonna be.
What? 3?
No, that someone's gonna eventually.
Well, he's got
break
3.
It.
Like someone's gonna break it. Does Roman have 2?
No, Roman only has 1, and I'm so sorry. I had it, and I'm trying to pull it up right now.
Well, here's my thing, right?
Because there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys who have 2, but honestly, most of these guys that have 2 actually are just really like not wrestling anymore.
That's what I'm saying. So it seems like on its face, because like, oh, someone's gonna break it. But here's the thing you don't understand. Everybody that has 2 is kind of coming on.
Here we go.
Worth it.
6 people. Steve Austin holds the record for most Royal Rumble victories at 3. 6 people have won 2 Royal Rumbles. Shawn Michaels, Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Batista, Triple H, and Randy Orton.
Oh shit! I forget Randy Orton won.
Yeah, none of those are winning 3.
No, so that's not even true. That's not true because lately I just read that Cena is actually wanting a comeback. Yep. How crazy would it be if he wants to come back for one more like 6-month run? Hey Vince, I kind of want to win the Royal Rumble. I want to win one more world title. I want to beat Flair's record. I want to do all that. That could happen. Cena,
but then he's going to go back and record Bumblebee too. It'll
maybe
be fine.
The Fiend will change.
What I'm saying, with the exception of Cena, if we're gonna be serious about it, Cena has that chance. But outside of that, no one has a chance of winning 3. And because what the argument I'm trying to make is that there's so much talent, is what I should say. So much talent in the WWE, and they cycle through it so quickly. It's going to be very difficult for someone to have heat at the right time without the title to win a title shot for WrestleMania at the Royal Rumble. I mean, that's why if Roman had 2, I'd be like, oh, he could do it. He can get 3.
Right.
He's only got 1. Yeah, so I'm just like, I don't see anybody breaking it. I really don't.
And a little silly fact here too. A little silly fact: Batista, on both the Rumbles that he won, he entered at number 28.
Oh, interesting.
Doesn't make a difference, but I'm just saying it's a little fun fact.
Hey, here's a question. I wonder if anybody knows it. I've never looked it up. What is the most common number to win the Rumble
21?
of your entrance?
The
21?
most common number to win the Royal Rumble is, give me 1 second.
No.
27.
I thought I was going to say 27, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
that was like 27.
27 number
21.
27 is the luckiest number to win the Royal Rumble. Winners at 4. 4 people who have entered have won at 27.
Well, there you go. Good stuff. God damn. This is always kind of fun. I love the.
No, that's why I love the Royal Rumble, because you could do
it gives
like
you so
actual
much
real
trivia and
it's the
history,
best.
right?
Yeah, like the way they measure real sports, with numbers and statistics, you could actually do that with the Rumble. And
by the way, Jess, who are the only back-to-back winners?
Austin.
Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Let me see here. Give me a
All
second.
right. It's my birthday. You
Hogan
better get it
won-
right, you piece of shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You piece of trash.
Oh, my God. Hulk Hogan won in
89.
Jesus. Hogan won 1990 and 91.
Yeah.
97, 98, and
I just
2001.
hear
you
him
piece of trash.
muffled Steve Austin. Shut the fuck up, Steve Austin. Good God. I just hear Steve Austin
my
rattling
birthday
on the
week.
background right now. Like he can't get a microphone live. He's like, who the fuck has a microphone that I can talk in? So Hulk Hogan won 1990 and 91. Shawn Michaels is a piece of shit and won 95 and 96. Steve Austin won 97, 98. And that's it. Those are the only guys who have won back to back.
Yeah, back-to-back winners, I'll go out on a limb and say Kevin Owens can win back-to-back.
Who? Owens? He's got to win one first.
I just want to see what he'd say.
Jesus.
Meltzer's going to win it.
KO's
So, and
gonna
another
win
one, real
2020,
quick, too. Real
2021.
quick, too. The time in here. The very first. Like, obviously, since the first one, there had to have been somebody who was in the Rumble the longest. But Bret Hart lasted 25 minutes and 88. Mr. Perfect lasted 27 minutes and 89. Ted DiBiase lasted 44 minutes and 90. Rick Martel lasted
Rick Martel, I
52.
forgot. That's the
Lasted-
52-minute mark that I was thinking of, not Flair.
52 minutes and 91. Ric Flair lasted 59 minutes and 92. Bob Backlund lasted 1 hour and 1 minute and 93. Then you had like small guys like Bigelow was the longest guy in 94 with only 30 minutes. Shawn Michaels lasted 30 minutes and 95 and won it. Hunter Hearst Helmsley was the Iron Man 1 year in 96 for 48 minutes. Steve Austin, who won the 97 Rumble, was in there for 45 minutes. Let's see. The Rock in 98 was in there for 51 minutes.
Wow.
Vince McMahon was 56 minutes and 99. But
Won that shit.
there was so much chicanery. He was taken out of the ring.
Yep.
He was wrestling in the
awesome.
back. It was all the whole thing. But yeah, it was really funny. But yeah, unfortunately, Vince has to take a record. But let's see. There's another one. Then you start getting huge. Chris Benoit, 1 hour, 1 minute. Did he beat Backlund?
Backlund.
Backlund was 1 hour, 1 minute, and 10 seconds. Chris Benoit was 1 hour, 1 minute, and 30 seconds in 2004. So Benoit took the record there. Then Rey Mysterio in 2006, 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 12 seconds. Let's see here. I think Mysterio still holds it to this day.
So
Yep.
I'm going to test your knowledge a little bit, or your
2017.
skills.
You bring up that greatest Royal
What?
Rumble like you brought up Braun. I think Daniel Bryan in that one, right? If you were to count those.
You know why that Rumble's the greatest Rumble?
Yeah, you are correct.
It's,
Cuz, yeah.
some horse shit falling under the
An
ring.
hour,
But
15
anyway,
minutes.
that's all we got to talk about that shit. But
So
here's
in the
thing.
actual Royal Rumble pay-per-view, Rey Mysterio to
longest.
this day still holds 1 hour, 2 minutes, 12 seconds, because is right in the greatest Royal Rumble ever of all time. Thank you, Vince. We love you.
Oh my god.
I did not do what Cuz just did right now. Just for the record, I did not do
Well,
that.
here's my question that's a little tougher to answer. And Jess, you probably have a few of them. Who was the Iron Man that didn't win the Rumble in those years? Like they went forever. Maybe they went longer than the actual.
Oh
winner of the
no, I mean
Rumble.
almost all of them. Almost all of them. Almost all of them. I think the only ones that won were Flair and Benoit.
Ain't no
But
Rick
do you have
Martel winning the
names of
Rumble.
one- No, yeah. Martel's a true Iron Man where he didn't win, right?
There's only 3 people that have ever been the Iron Man and won it the same year: Flair, Rey Mysterio, and Benoit.
So I mean that's a really good point. When you talk about the Iron Man, it's usually the man that doesn't win it, right?
Correct. That's very correct.
Yeah.
It's a strong
There you go.
performance.
That's why I wanted to hold that kind of nostalgia into the history of it, because there's always the Iron Man. That's what's I mean, I keep going back to it. That's what's so cool about the Royal Rumble in general is there's so many things you can placate about the history of it. Who was the Iron Man? Who actually won? What was the only Rumble or the only 2 Rumbles that had the world title actually on the line for whatever reason? Why did that happen? The Royal Rumble has given us so much in the realm of history, in the realm of possibility, that I think it's changed the dynamic of WWF or WWE. Period. There's one little thing that Pat's like, hey, every 2 minutes, someone comes in. Cool, right? And then when we get all 30 of them in there, eventually they all eliminate each other. We'll get a final. We'll see who wins it. It was so simple of a concept, but it created so much more ability to actually have great matches. And if you think about it, the Royal Rumble could be anywhere from 5 to 20 matches in that hour period. And that's what's so great about it. You don't know what's going to happen. You might see somebody face someone who's never faced somebody before. We saw that with, I think, Warrior and Hogan, right? That's the first time they ever met up. And that was a test. And that changed the world.
Yeah, that's another big moment too. Is like Hulk and Warrior in '90 faced off. Like there's a lot of big stuff, and then it started as the Rumble started maturing. They would actually have on the undercard. You know, obviously it wasn't just the Royal Rumble, and that was it. The pay-per-view's over. It was they would have singles matches or tag matches before, but then then they started getting when the Rumble winners started, getting a shot at Mania. They would actually have a world title match on the Rumble card before the Royal Rumble match, if that makes sense. So, they could change the championship right there. So, coming into the Royal Rumble, Kurt Angle could be champion. Austin could win the Rumble, but then Kurt Angle lost the title that night. So now, all of a sudden, oh shit, Austin facing The Rock. But then, will The Rock hold it all the way until Mania? I don't know. It was a really cool dynamic that once they introduced that, and then they started having world title matches at the Rumble, separate from the Rumble match itself. Now you have this whole what nobody knows what's going to happen. We have to watch the March to Mania from January to March or April, depending on when. Yeah,
What about another aspect of it that we haven't really touched on yet, and that is surprise returns, debuts, or even one-off appearances that happened during the Royal Rumble. That's another thing to look forward to all the time now.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash comes to mind immediately.
Nash, or of course, AJ.
Now they do they do a lot of nostalgia. One of the big ones was Styles made his WWF debut, WWE debut at a Royal Rumble. Yeah,
still one of my favorites.
2010, John Cena was out from an injury for a long time, and then Cena comes back, and he was not supposed to be back until 8 months, but he came back in 3 months, and he won that year too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I like the Rumble, because you can actually look at the stuff. I know it's fake, I know it's predetermined, but you can look at all these stats, like real sports, and kind of just it's kind of cool to look at.
Well, you'll get some
another one
surprises,
the top 5 men's longest cumulative runs were Chris Jericho with 5 hours and 1 minute, Triple H 4 hours, Rey Mysterio 3 hours, Michaels 3 hours, Kane 3 hours. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to look at.
I totally enjoy that. And like you said, you never know who you're gonna see. You might see some NXT star that was on the come up, and they're testing them out. You might see someone from a totally independent, come out of nowhere. You might see someone from the women's division just come out of nowhere and join the Rumble. And you're like, holy shit, what is going on? That's what's so great about the Rumble. You got 30 entrants. You don't know what's going to happen. They're going to throw some curveballs at you. It's not really going to affect the outcome of the Rumble, but it makes the Rumble that much more exciting. And that, to me, is why we're talking about the Rumble, other than the fact that it's coming up here in just a few weeks. And just one of the reasons why I think we love wrestling. The Royal Rumble really brings it for us. And like I said, as always, you can reach us via Instagram at O.W.P 2019, SoundCloud at Our Wrestling Podcast, YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel, or do the easy thing, download WrestlePost at no charge to you, and join us along with other great podcasts of the day. This is Dave, Jess, and Cuz with the O.W.P signing off. Have a good one.